Yes, guys, welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome back to another match preview. After two wins in a row, two decent wins in a row. I say decent because obviously the Servette game was Servette and it's expected. But the Wolves game, I think we made a pretty good statement. Not a comprehensive statement because there were still defensive issues that we know we're going to have to experience throughout the game. Throughout the season. But all in all, really happy with the way we played from an attacking perspective. Shout out to Kev. As always, it's good to have you back. Hope you're having a good holiday and I hope you enjoyed the weekend of football, bro.
Oh, absolutely loved it. Woke up early doors. It's half six over it was in the morning. Um, I felt like it could have been a draw. To be fair, I would have been happy with a draw. First half wasn't the best, like you said. A couple of defensive errors. I think it was for Foden never reacted to a ball for their second goal, easy tapping. But these are the stuff that if we can eradicate going forward, like we've been saying for a long time, we'll win more games. But second half, I can't remember a better performance from Chelsea going back 2-3 years. That's the best performance I've seen going forward from a Chelsea team in a long time, and it was so good to see patterns of play, overlaps, people picking at different positions. We was just driving walls at the wall, and with the way to get a hat trick after his Instagram story about Wolverhampton as well. That was just brilliant. So he definitely silenced the crowd. But
Says a lot about his mentality, in my opinion.
oh,
Because they were all onto him from the start, and he was a problem all game, not even just the second half.
Oh yeah. Madueke. I was saying it from pre-season about the guy, how important it is to get on his side, because everyone says about his attitude, this and that. He's just a modern day player. That's how he is, and he was doing stuff against Real Madrid. He was doing bits against every game he's played pre-season. He's been him and Lavia especially. We've been the standout players, and he's continued this form. All we've got to do is back it, because I think he's going to have a good season. I've got a funny feeling this is his breakthrough season. So with that hat-trick, hopefully that gives him confidence, because there's definitely a top-class player in there, but we just got to try and find it.
I feel like with the fact that we have Conference League, there is a lot of opportunities for him to actually develop his game. And that was a big problem last season that we had when we were doing one game a week. There was only like 11 players or maybe like 14 at a max that would even see any bit of game time and be able to develop and work through that. And the rest you're just doing running training regimes. So it was nice to see us. It's nice to see that we actually have a lot more minutes to go around and a lot more minutes for the players to develop too. That's why, I'm glad we're in the Conference League, even though I would ideally rather be in a stronger competition. I'd rather be in the Conference League than not be in Europe. With this young project that we're trying to do, you need minutes to go around the entire squad. Now we finally have it. I think we're going to see a lot more development from a lot more players. What was your thoughts on us defensively, though? Because offensively, we flexed our muscles. The fact we're able to bring Neto and Kunku and Felix off the bench says a lot about the array of options that we already have. Defensively, though, I still think there's quite a bit to be desired. I don't know how you're feeling.
100%, 100%. And this is what we said on the last show a couple of weeks ago. Defensively, I think we're just lacking that bit of leadership, that bit of aggression, that bit of organisation from, let's say, a Thiago Silva, what he brought to us last year. I still believe that we could replace him. I don't think we will, but if we did, it's got to be someone over the age of 27, 28. We need experience in there. I think we do struggle a bit on the transition. So when teams are counter-attacking us, I think we struggle a bit, because what we tend to do is we drop him back into our own area. So we're not sticking to a line, basically bringing pressure on. What we're finding is most of the goals that we concede are coming in and around the 6-yard box, because we're going that deep. So I just believe that we need someone to say, you know what, lads, stick out, keep to your line. Obviously, I don't know what these owners got up their sleeve. I'd like to see another centre back in, but the way the confidence going about at the moment with that win against Wolves, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I'm seeing, but still, I think we could just have another centre back in there just to stiffen it up a bit.
Now, I wouldn't mind an experienced head, but we kind of have to sell two just to do that. So I think it's unlikely that happens. The one thing I want to at least see from our centre backs up until December is stick with a 2. Let's not do chopping and changing through numerous league games like we did on the Poch, like we did on the Lampard, because it's no coincidence that we had our worst defensive records in the Premier League under both of them, and we were constantly changing our back four. You want to stick with Fofana and Colwill, stick with Fofana and Colwill. And I'm glad we're at least doing that. And if they don't work, you take the pair out. You don't take one out. You bring Tosin, you bring Badiashile, and you let them have a run if the other two don't work. Now, I think Colwill had an improved performance. Still areas of his game that I do think he needed to improve on a little bit. There was still some individual mistakes, but I think we got the best out of him a bit more from an offensive and from a passing standpoint.
Yeah.
Fofana, still not the best,
well,
but like we know he needs more time anyway.
There you go. There you go. We can't be too critical of these defenders. You've got to think Cole and Fofana have already played a minute together as a partnership. These lads are still fresh. And there's a sense about pairing. You need to have the understanding. That's what it's all about, understanding. When one pushes you up to go, lock onto a striker, the other one drops back. When one covers, one goes forward. It's just having that communication, and that comes with time. So we can't expect them both to come and put in these. It takes time, but I think with a more louder sense about, you need a leader in there. And hopefully Colwill or Fofana or someone can step up to that leadership and become like a Thiago Silva for us in that back line. That would be very important for us. Stop leaking.
I think that's where, like we were saying, confidence comes into play. And again, that's why I don't want us changing either of the back two yet. You have to let them build. You have to let them make mistakes. But I do see a little bit of leadership in the pair of them. Like, Fofana's always struck me as one of the leaders in the dressing room. He seems to be one of the more vocal, one of the more outgoing and extroverted players. And Levi Colwill just off Maresca already saying that he could potentially be one of his vice captains. That's telling me that there's some intangibles that Colwill has that we don't necessarily see on the pitch. So I do think we could see that leadership potentially, but they just need a bit more confidence and time together.
This is what we said about a year ago when we was getting rid of the whole, like Jorginho's and Kovacic, and there's a lot of leaders leaving. And what we said is usually leaders rise within the pack. And, you know, James, for me, James is a bit iffy. I don't think he's really vocal enough, but he used to say he won't be in the future. Time will only tell. But Fofana and Colwill, we just need time to get it together. And like you said, I see both kind of attributes as Fofana as well. I think he seems very vocal. There was a shot of him coming off the bus against Wolves. He had his phone, tended to be on the phone, walking onto the coach. I like stuff like that. You need someone that's got the banter. You need a bit of personality. In the dressing room, we've got a lot of personality, so I just want us to start working together, and I want a lead to come out the pack, and I want someone to control things. But what I can say is, from the Wolves game as well, on set plays, we're looking a lot better. We're looking 10 times better than last year. I even seen Sanchez organising on a corner, organising, saying, you stand there, you stand there, and these are the things that were.
He had a much better game too.
These are the things that wasn't happening last year, and that's then you kept on saying it, Pochettino. The manager has to do all this. The manager say, Sanchez, you've got to organise everyone corners. You've got to tell people to pick people up. And that's down to the manager. Obviously, what he's doing on the training ground or his pre-game talks is finally working. And we're starting to look better on defensive set plays. And we're starting to look better going forward. So we've got to say it's Maresca that's doing this.
Yeah, another thing that I noticed with Maresca as well that we didn't see last season is there's a lot more defending. And I don't mean like defending in action. I mean like more defending each other as a unit, defending each other as a team. Like there was a lot of back and forths between the Wolves and Chelsea players. And last season, I'd see man leaving players alone just to deal with like a swarm of opposition players during like one of the little fights and everything that would happen in game. And we always used to complain about where's the leadership, where's the teamwork, where's everyone actually standing up for each other as a unit. I noticed that in the Wolves game. Anytime like there was one player in a beef with a Wolves player, there was another 5 or 6 joining with them. And I saw one of the players as well say that Maresca told them, we need to be backing each other a little bit more. We need to be a little bit more like aggressive, both on the ball and off the ball. And when it comes to defending ourselves as a team. And that's just another example, I think, of how far we've already improved from where we were last season. We already seem like more of a unit.
Yeah, and it's down to the manager. And I think There's been talks of him saying that he's trimmed the team down to 21. And I know what he's doing. He wants more of a team unit, like a smaller squad, rather than 32 players and 10 being fringe players. I can see that he wants more of a team spirit. He's building a good team spirit within the team, and that helps because the last few seasons we've had up and down. We've had plenty of ups and downs. We've had players leaving, players coming in. So he wants to create a better atmosphere, which is fair play to him. With that said in mind, if you've got a better atmosphere, you're going to be more vocal on set plays. Going to be more cohesion going forward. So everything's, with what he's saying, everything's coming together very nicely, and it's down to him as a manager what's doing it.
We just have to get the home fans on board. That's the biggest problem now, because that's been where the worst has been with the atmosphere. Anytime Dewsbury Hall's giving the ball away, they're doing up Gallagher chants. We're moaning and groaning anytime we're trying to build play out the back slowly. And I've spoken so much about this over the last 2 weeks because it infuriates me. The fact that I've seen the same fans who said nothing about Pochettino for 6 months are now trying to get onto Maresca and his style of play within 1 week. It drives me nuts. I remember Caicedo as well a month ago saying, what was it? Chelsea players used to prefer playing away than at home last season because of how toxic the atmosphere used to be the first few games of the season. And they were all centering it down towards the players. What happened to just at least trying to back the players while they're here for 90 minutes? Because I get it. When it comes to criticizing players, I'm up there at the top of the list when it comes to it. But I always keep the same energy of when I'm in the ground, I'm not talking. When I'm in the ground, I'm backing everyone that's in the starting 11 because I want my team to win. People are like, oh, what if Gallagher scores? I hope he scores. What if Havertz scores? I hope he scores. Prove me wrong. You think I want to be raging about my players every week? No. I want to believe in my squad. You lot aren't even giving them a chance.
We've got to be realistic, man. We've got to be realistic. The guys just come in. Maresca's been here not even 2 months, a month and a bit. They have to come in. He's had to come into new players. You have to come into an absolute mess. And from what I can see, he's completely organised and steadied the ship already. It's only 2 games in, and look what we said against Wolves. And I was going to give the guy at least 10 games to get it together and start seeing some improvements on last year. I'm already seeing it already. So things can only get better. So there's going to be a game where we are poor. There's going to be a game where we make mistakes. There's going to be games where it's not looking too cohesive and giving the ball this and that. But things take time. I can see the improvements already. I'm not sure you can as well, Lewis. I can see the improvement. Even on set plays, I've always gone on about this set plays. I want to see us more organised. I want to see someone pointing and deciding where we're going. This and that. I'm seeing that already. I'm seeing the basics in football being done. So I'm happy to continue to see this team improve. And I'm guaranteed after 10 games, we'll see a team which is 10 times better than what we said in the Pochettino. 100% because it wasn't good enough. As much as we finished 6th place, it wasn't good enough. I would have rather finished 13th because that was a realistic position for how we was playing. You know what I'm trying to say?
Us finishing 6th was crazy in itself. Just the amount of fall-offs we saw in 2024. It was only 2 good teams that were playing. If we're going to call it what it is. Liverpool fell off from February and they got that Salah injury for a good section. We were crap until about March. Tottenham were crap the whole year. West Ham fell on the beach. Brighton fell on the beach. Man United. The quality of the league was just rubbed out by that point. It was terrible from 18 out of the 20 teams in there. That's why that shit don't fool me for a second.
And we had the easiest run of forms going in, and we barely scraped through a few of them. And it was
Burnley
the same
and Sheffield United, bro. Oh boy!
And it was the same errors in every single game. There was literally no improvement. And he had a better defense. He had Thiago Silva. He had better players.
Burnley, I think, was 2 goals off 2 set pieces. I think.
Sheffield United. There's 3 or 4 games that it was the same old. So right now we're not conceding off set plays. Like I said, I have never seen Sanchez. I literally seen Sanchez grabbing a player who's like, "You stand there, and that's down to the manager. Simple as that. The manager said to Sanchez, "You've got to get us organised and set plays," and that's what we're doing now. So, basic management equals better performances, and that's what we're seeing now. It's not rocket science.
Trust. Just away from the Wolves game, even though it's great talking about good Chelsea performance for the first time. I want to touch on this transfer news quickly. So we've got a 4-striker shortlist from what we're hearing, and it's Tony, Osimhen. Someone's reporting Calvert-Lewin, which don't even start, but and someone else. Now it does still seem like everything's pointing towards Osimhen, but for me, really and truly, you get one of Tony or Osimhen, I am not complaining. How are you feeling about the whole situation?
Personally, I don't want. I don't know. With Tony, I'm a bit. He's had a bit of a time out, hasn't he? That's not my only concern. I think season before last, he was firing, but he's had a long time out. Can we get him back to the standards that he was? Personally, if I was the board, my top striker right now, if we could get him, I'd like to see Ollie Watkins from Villa. I'd think he'd be phenomenal. I'd think he'd be amazing for us, Watkins.
That'd be a dream, but
yeah. He's not going to leave Champions League football, isn't he? That's the only thing. But Watkins would be ideal. But either one, I think right now, Osimhen and Tony be good, but I'd prefer to go to Osimhen. I think he's just going to give you more. I think Tony's more of an in-box striker, in and around the box, but Osimhen can do the lot. He can run in behind, he can link the play up. You know, he's just a bit like Jackson, but with the end product. But not saying Jackson hasn't got the end product, but I think he's more of a 1-in-2 striker, where Jackson's a 1-in-4. And I think with Osimhen, top 4 is more or less secured. So let's see how it progresses. But from what I can read, what I've been reading today is that Osimhen, the negotiations have opened today, and we're not far off an agreement. So let's keep our eyes.
Yeah, Al Ali are trying to get in as well. They're trying to offer him like 30 mil a year or something.
Yeah,
but he don't want to leave, so they might even have to offer more than that.
Yeah, he might as well just retire though if he goes to Saudi Arabia. That's his career done, isn't it? Like that's it. Once he goes over there, it's just going to be like another Oscar. Like that's it. You just stay.
Yeah, it's generational wealth, so I wouldn't knock it down. But like we're hearing, he wants to do a lot more in Europe. His dreams to play in the Premier League. So I find it very, very unlikely that he goes anywhere except us. Personally, the problem's just wages. He don't want to lower his wages, but nobody else is coming in for you. So you got to make a decision.
Yeah, we can't afford to pay him the 300k apparently, but this is the thing. The model's completely changed, and I understand the reason why they're not doing it. Why not give him lower wages over a longer period of time? But this makes sense financially. But if Osimhen doesn't want to do it, we're going to have to be fair to you, if you don't get Osimhen, I'm not too bothered if you don't sign another striker, to be fair to that. I think Jackson, with a bit more time, can get to a 1-in-3 striker. I just think he needs time. So either way, from what we've seen on Sunday, it's proved that we can score goals. So I'm not particularly bothered. I would be happy if Osimhen came in or Tony, but if they don't, we'll just keep on moving. If you know what I mean, simple as that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like ideally, Tony or Osimhen, or don't force it. I don't need a striker like that we have to take an unnecessary risk. The right one, or just forget it, in all honesty. Moving on to the Servette game. Wait, what were you saying?
What are you thinking about? Sorry, just to interrupt quickly. This Sancho Sterling swap deal. What are you thinking about that, then, Lewis? Because I'm pretty confused about this one. Do we actually need Sancho with all the wingers we've got already? What are your thoughts on this?
I don't think we're that seriously interested in him, and I think he's going to Juventus anyway from the way things are looking. Apparently there's already an agreement between both clubs for a loan with an obligation to buy, and the player wants to move. This Sterling Sancho's potential saga only suits Sterling. It doesn't suit anybody else. Manchester United, they don't even really need another winger like that? I don't know, but they don't need Sterling if that's their option. For us, we don't need Sancho. Like, he's a good player. I wouldn't be anti-Sancho if he joined us, but what is the point? And for Sancho especially, it's the wrong move, because your transfer at United has already failed. Your next move cannot fail. You can't come to a club like ours where you're not guaranteed minutes. And especially on those wages, you have to drop those wages before we even get to that point. You're on 250 to 300k a week. So again, very unrealistic before we even get to that point. But for Sancho, your next move has to be at a club you're starting at. So Juve, perfect. Go do your thing there. Chelsea,
because it makes
very
sense.
risky.
Because Chiesa is going to Liverpool. He's on the way there for a medical now. So Chiesa's going out. Chiesa's number 7. That means there's another slot for another winger. So Sancho to Juventus makes sense for all parties. I don't think we need him. I seen it yesterday and I was like, we don't need Sancho. We just don't need him. I think.
Yeah, even Felix was just pushing it a little bit. Like like Sancho. Now you're mocking it.
Yeah,
Again, I'm not against him. Quality player, but why? Why? The idea is just get rid of Sterling, but then you've got his wages. Is he going to lower his wages? Probably not. So what are we doing here? That's why I just don't believe in the whole thing as a whole. But would have been nice 2 years ago, I guess. Would have been better to get him instead of Sterling, but too late now. Too late now. Just for the Servette team, though, what do we expect to see for the lineup? Because, like, now João Felix is back, you might see a change in the attacking positions, but I'd assume he starts, and I kind of want to see Dewsbury Hall and Mudryk start again, because I did think they had a good link-up in the last game. It's just the end product from Mudryk didn't help himself.
That's what we've been saying for the last 2-3 years about the guy. End product's not there. And I think with this Maresca, he's going to give him time. I think he's going to give him another season to prove himself. And if the end product doesn't improve, that's it. Time to go kind of thing. But in respect of what you just said, I think we should just go with our second team, basically. I think Neto had training off yesterday. I read something on he had the training off yesterday, so we're managing him a lot better. And this is these are the things I want to be hearing, because this wasn't happening last year. We wasn't managing players. Players are coming back from injury, going straight back into training and getting injured in training. So for us to be saying that Neto's played 15, 20 minutes, now he's resting, maybe he gets us half a game against Servette. And it's just game management, player management, time management, all adds to being a successful team. And we're starting to see a lot of things like that. So for me personally, the players that came off the bench, probably give them a start. I'd like to see Viego as well on that left-hand side. I think he's really impressed me. Obviously, we'd have to go with Gustav because he's the only fit right back at the moment. I think we'd have Jorgensen. I'd probably go with Totin, Badashile. Depending if Lavi's back, I'm not quite sure. But if he's not back, I think Caicedo came up as well with hamstring injury. So I'll probably see Dewsbury Hall, Mudryk, Neto, and probably Mark Guéhi up front. That'll be my starting lineup. This is the second team, really. We don't need to go out there and improve anything at all. We've got a team advantage. It's just a matter of getting those minutes in the legs and having a good game.
Yeah, like just no injuries and hopefully another comprehensive victory, because I don't think Servette are going to offer us too much worry. They did have a lot of shots in the last game. I did see 22 shots going around and everything. Jorgensen was tested like once or twice, realistically. Like that wasn't a game that worried me going forward. Just felt like one of them Europa League group stage games where we're not motivated. We've walked into the game just thinking, yeah, we're going to win. And we've made it a little bit more difficult for us than we needed to, but it was always within our reach. It's just whenever we decided to switch on or just bring on the right subs. So I'm kind of thinking another 2-0 win. I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah, we cannot take this team for granted. At the end of the day, any team that you come up against, we know as well, being from England, FA Cup, look how many teams knock out Premier League. Cannot take it for granted, but at the same time, I think this Marasca's mentality, he's not going to want them to take the foot off the gas. I think with this 6-2 victory, that can only spur us on to do more. And I think we've got to go out there and get another clean sheet for confidence, get another victory, and then we move on to the next game. And I think this builds confidence, builds more confidence, and that's what we're seeing now. Within what? A week of the Premier League start, and we're seeing a more of a confident team. So personally, I'd say 3-1 Chelsea. 3-1 Chelsea would be a fair result.
3-1 Chelsea. Okay, maybe could see a goal. They are at home. Either way, see us going through at the end of it. So get yourself into the group stage and we'll be there for the draw on Friday afternoon. But yeah, guys, it's been another Chelsea preview. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Big up to everybody that's locked in. Should be a watch along on here tomorrow too, so keep a lookout, or today, depending on whenever this video gets dropped. But yeah, big up to everybody. Hit the likes.
And I do apologise to the people watching for the bit of a lag. Got bad internet here, so if it has been a laggy one, I'll be back next week to my own internet, so it'll be a lot more clearer. But yeah, sorry about the lag, everyone.
Yeah, holiday tax, part of the game, innit? Like, I need to go on holiday in a few weeks anyway, so
There you go,
yeah,
brother.
that'll be me soon. But yeah, big up everybody, hit the likes, subscribe.